Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to solve this problem based in tangency. We are told to replicate this diagram in tangency. So the first thing you need to trace here is the center lines. Now if you look at this, we have this center, and this center, making three centers, right? Now from this there's a horizontal line, right? So let's of all draw the horizontal line, which is also called the center line. So the first of all do, we'll take our set square and t square. First of all, you take the t square this way, and you draw your horizontal line. That is one long one short one, long one, short, long, short, long, short, just like that. That will call our center line, right? So when you've done that, that's the first step. Now the second step is to look the distance between the centers of the line. Now if you look at this here, we have one center here and another center here, and the distance between both of them is what? 152. So I'll pick a point here, probably at this point, and I'm going to mark that as my point A. So I'm going to measure 152. So let me just say a silent point A here, and I'll measure 152. So if I pick my meter rule, I can easily use this. I'll start from 1. So meaning my 1 is 0. So this is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, and 152. So that is my, I'll call it point B. So I'm saying what I'm trying to make you understand, that the point here is A and the point here is what? B. Now the next thing is, if you notice it, you've drawn a vertical line and a vertical line intersecting at those points. So I'll take my set square and place it on my t square this way. Right, place it on my t square this way. Take it to that point and draw a vertical line this way. So I'll have another long one, short, long, short, long, short. So that's our center line. I'll come here too. I'll replicate the same thing. I'll do the same thing. The long one, short one, long one, short one, long one, short one, long one, short one, and long one. Now this is what we have here. Now the next thing is, there's another center line here again, which is this, right? We have another center line from this point to this point. So what are we going to do? Now if you watch this closely, right, you discover that from this center to somewhere around here, let me call that point C, right? From point A to point C is 102, and from point B to point C is 146. So what you do is you take your meter rule, you're going to measure 102 this way. Let's go there. Measure 102 this way. Take your meter rule and you measure 102. So from 0 to 100, this is 100, and this is 102 here, right? And I'll place it at this center here, and I'll strike an arc. Can you see the arc I strike? This arc here. That's the first thing I'll do. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that if you watch closely again, the distance from this center to this center, that is from B to C, is what? 146. So I'll also measure 146. So with my meter rule, I'll measure 146. So when I place it this way, I can decide to make it this way also, like this, 146. So this is from 0 here. You can look at this very well. From 0, this is 40, 140. Then the next one is what? 145, 146 here. You can see that. So from here, I'll place it at B and I'll strike another arc here. You can see that they are now meeting at this point. I'll call that point C, which is this point here. So which is this point here, right? That is the point here. Point what? Point C. Now I'll not join them with center line. So with the help of my meter rule and my rule, on point C, I'll draw a center line. That is from here to here. Can you see that? From here to here. So I'll draw one long one, short one, it is center line. You can see that? And I'll also come here also and I'll do the same thing too. From this point, I'm going to join long one, short one, long one, short one, long one, short one, and so on like that. That's how you do. So this is what we've done. So after that, the next thing will be in this center here, we have a circle. But you see this sign here, it means diameter of what? This is 76. So I'm going to measure a diameter of what? 76. So for you to measure a circle, you need a radius, because from one end of the circle to the other end of the circle is called diameter. But from one end of the circle to the center of the circle is called the radius. And I need the radius to draw the circle. And we're given 76. So if I divide 76 by 2, I'll get the radius. So 76 divided by 2 will give us what? 38. I'll use 38 to draw my circle. So I'm going to place this on my meter rule and measure 38. So this is from 0 here to this point here is 38. You can see that? And I'll place it at this center point here. Right? And I'm going to draw the circle this way. Just faint line. You can see that? That is my 38. How good? I'll draw it with what? Faint line first. Now, I believe you can see the faint line. Let me make it more bolder to ensure that we are moving forward. That's the first thing, your faint line. Now, the next one is, it has another inner one, which is called what? 36. And the radius of 36 is what? That will be 18. So I'm going to measure 18 for the inner one, but in this case, I'm going to thicken it. That is 18. Move from 1. This is 18. All good. I'm going to place it here. And I'll draw my circle at this point. So that is the 18. So I've drawn the outer one. If possible, the outer one is also thickened. So let me draw the outer one, let me thicken it, and let's see how we move forward. So I'll place it here. And I'd love to thicken it. That we'll have there. Now we move forward. In the other aspect here, we have, if you look at the top here, it's giving the boss to be 50 millimeter diameter. So what I just need is 25, right? So I'm going to measure 25 to get what I want. So I'm going to measure my 25 like this. From here to here is 25 here. All good? And I'll place it at this point here and I'll draw. All good? So I'll use the 25 and I'll place it at the center, right? I'm going to draw the circle and I will thicken it. You can see that. Now, after you've measured the 25, you've successfully gotten the outer circle. Now the inner circle from here is said the drill is what? Diameter 25. So that means the radius is what? 12.5. You're dividing by 2. So whenever you see anything that looks like this, it's called diameter, right? So you have to divide it by 2. So it means that a circle divided by 2. Remember it that way. So we'll measure 12.5 on our meter rule. I'll take this my meter rule here. And I'm going to measure 12.5. This 10, 11, 12.5, right? And I'll place it at this point inside the circle. Then I'm going to measure my 12.5 this way. I'll thicken it. I will have. Now I've done that. Now the next one is this here. If you look at this here, it has the arrow. Look at the arrow pointing at the circle. Means the diameter of the circle is 50. So you need the radius. And you draw, using radius 25, you draw that. So I'll take my meter rule also. I'm going to measure 25. From 0 is 20 and this 25 here. Right? So I'm going to place it at that center point here, point B. Then I'm going to draw the circle of diameter 25, but this time I'm going to thicken it 25, right? So let's move forward. So I'm going to thicken it. Now, I haven't done that. The next thing that we are going to be doing here will be, if you see this here, there's this hole here, right? It says that the center at which we build those holes, this cut here, is radius what? 85. So I will take, and it's coming from where? The center. So I'm going to take my compass and I measure radius of 25. Because it's radius, I don't have to divide. So this is radius of 85. Is 80 here. This is 85 here. Alright. Then I'm going to place it at the center here. And I'll strike an arc. Long one, short one, long, short, and long. That's what I'm going to do. You can see that? So I've successfully drawn this arc here. That again. Now what do you notice? At this point here, which is this point here, we have an arrow that says the radius of this circle here is what? 20. So if here is 20, automatically here too is 20. They have these two center points. So I'm going to measure radius of 18 on my meter rule, right? Measure radius of 18 on my meter rule. This is 10 and this 18 here, right? And I'll place it at this center point where they meet. I'm going to draw a semicircle like this. I'm going to thicken it. There's my semicircle, right? And I'll replicate the same thing here also. At this point here, this point, I'm going to do this. You can see that. Now from here, we'll now place it at the center, because this is the reference point, the center here. I'll take it to this point, and I'm going to draw another arc this way. You can see that? So I'll place it and draw another arc, which I'm going to thicken. And I'm going to this point too. I'll connect it to the other one. You can see that? So I'm going to try from here. You can see that? So we have successfully drawn this in. Now the next thing I told you, this is like a pothole. And what you do in a pothole, you fill, you add. So that means you're going to be adding the radiuses. That means the circle is external. When the circle is external, that means the smaller circle is external, you're going to what? Add. But I like using like is a hole you're trying to fill, so you add. Now the radius of this outer circle here is 25 because the diameter is 50. So we're going to say that our arrow 25, let me put it here, let me do it here. I'm going to say that the arrow 25, that means the radius of the circle, plus the bigger radius, which is what? 76. So plus arrow 76. Then for this is 38. Are we good? So the radius will be 38. So this will give me arrow 38 plus what? Arrow 76. So you're going to add the radius of this circle plus this radius, and radius of this circle plus this radius. So if I add these two together, 76 plus 25 will give us, we have 1. 7 plus 2 is 9, then we have 101. You can see that? So this is arrow 101. Is arrow what? 101. Then 26 plus 38. If I do that, I'll have arrow here. 8 plus 6 is 14. I'll put my 14. I'll take 1. 3 plus 7 is 10. Right? Plus 1. That is 104. So I'm adding these two radiuses. Now, so this is 114. There's not mistake here. 114. Now what it simply means is I'm going to measure 110 plus 110 for the first one. So I'll measure 110. So if I start from here, place my compass from 0 to 101. Use 101 here, right? And I'll place it at this point, right? And I'll strike an arc this way. I'm going to strike an arc. Now you're wondering the arc that I'm striking. Let me show you. This is the arc here. Are we good? Now the next one, I'll measure 114 still on my meter rule. 114 like this from 1. This is 100, 110, 100 and what? 14 should be here. You can see that. So I'll place it at this other point, and I'm going to draw. Now look at where they are intersecting. They are intersecting at this point, right? So that is the point. I am going to place my compass this way. I place my compass at that point, you can see. Then I'll take it to this point here to ensure that it is tangential to it, you can see. So when I do that, let's gauge that very well. So I'll gauge it. Now we'll show that it's touching this guy. So I'll do start. Now taking it. So it must be tangential. If I continue drawing it, it will not enter the circle, but it will only touch the circumference of the circle. So successfully, we've done this aspect here. Now the next thing we want to do is to do this other aspect. So let's see what's going to happen. Now look at this here. We'll do that now. Now, if you look at this bigger circle here, this one at the base that look as if someone that just ate something big, right? That is is a pot is a like a bump, a big tummy. When you have big tummy, you always want to what? Reduce it. So it means that you're going to subtract here. So this is internal circle. When the circle is internal, you subtract. So I like using like a big tummy, you want to reduce it, a small tummy you want to add, right? So you call it a bump. This is a bump. You want to reduce the bump to become level on the road, or a pothole you want to fill. So this is an internal circle. So what you do, you add the radius. So what we're going to do here, now let me show you. Now this is where we actually are at this point. We are at this point here, and we want to draw the circle at that point. So let's see how that goes. So from here, since it is an internal circle, right? So I'm going to add. We have the radius here to be 76, so we need 38. So 38, that is 152 minus 38. So we're subtracting. Radius of 152 minus 38. So I'm going to write it this way. So I'll write it here. The radius of what? 152 minus the radius of what? 38. So give us, let's see, 152, right? So we have 152 here minus 38. What would that give us? If we 152 minus 38, it's going to give us 114. The radius here is radius 114. Now, but for the other one too, to be radius 152 minus. Now, what is the radius of this other circle here? The radius of the other circle is 50, right? So I'm going to measure one distance minus what? R50. And that will give us 102. Radius what? 102. So before that, I am going to draw this other circle here, because look at this, it's telling you that the circle is 50. The radius of that circle is 50. So I'll measure 50 on my meter rule this way. I'll measure 50 on my meter rule this way. From here to here is 50, right? First of all, and I'll place it at this point. What I'll actually do, I'll just draw a faint line first. I don't need a thick line, just faint line to guide me. So this is the faint line I have here, right? So let's start using our measurement. The first one is 114 and it's for this circle. The second one is 102, is for this circle. So I'm going to measure 114 on this circle here. 114. This is 0, right? This is 0 here. 0, and this is 100, 110, then 100 and what? 14 here. And I'll place it at this point here. You can see at this point here, I'm going to strike an arc up here. To be up here, I'll strike the arc. So don't forget that. So I'll strike the arc up. Now let's see that arc there. This is the arc up here that I strike. So to be up, you strike it. Then the next one is 102. So I'm going to measure 102. 102 on my meter rule. This 100. And this is 100 here, 102 here. And I'll place it at this point here. So where they meet, I'm going to cut. This is where it is cutting the circle. That's the point I am going to use to draw that big belly. So when I use that point, let's move backward. I want to draw the big belly. Right? So I actually need this point here to draw what I want to draw. So I'll place it here at that center point. You can see that. and I'll take it to here. Ensure that it is tangential to that circle this way. You have to be very careful. Let me show you what I'm doing. It must be tangential to that point. Now good. It must be tangential to this point. Then you draw it to ensure that it goes straight to this point. Relate to that from here. So this is what we have there. And you're wondering what have I drawn? This is what I've actually drawn. This. Right? I connected it, so it's like this now. So I've drawn this aspect. Now the one remaining is this line here that we are told it is it's a straight line that is we drew this way, right? So I can easily do it this way. Now we are told that for this other one here, there is a line that we draw from this point tangential to this point here, right? And the line is inclined at what? An angle what of what? 30 degree. So I'm going to take my, if I like, I construct or I take my set square. I told you whenever the set square is sitting this way, it is called 30 degree. But when it is standing this way, it's called what? 60 degree. If I put it this way, then I'll move it to this point here, and I'm going to draw a line this way to ensure it's tangential. I'll draw a line this way, point line, and it moves. You can see that. That is what I am doing first. So let's see that. Now that line is cutting somewhere around, let me complete this, around here, which is this point here, to this point here, right? So what I'll just do is to draw an arc like you want to chamfer here, you want to fill. So the next thing you just do is to use your set square, because we want to get this arc at radius of what, 25, that is tangential both to this line and to this bigger circle, right? So now what you do is you take your set square. Like I said, when the set square is turning this way, it's 60 degree. So I'll ensure that that 60 degree it should be standing on your t square. So ensure that that 60 degree should be tangential to that bigger circle that I drew here. So don't draw it this way. You can see that? So where the bigger circle touch the horizontal line here, I'll measure the radius of 25, which is what is given here, which is what, 25. I'll measure radius 25, right? And where it intersects, where that 60 degree line intersects my horizontal line, I'll place it on that point, and now what? I'm going to strike an arc this way. You can see that? So where the line cuts this my angle, this line that's inclined at 30 degree here, I'll place it at that point. I'll strike another arc with the same 25. So with the same 25, I'm going to place it at this point where they intersect. Then I'm going to get this arc here. Right? I'm going to get this way. So from here, that is what I am going to do. So we'll just get that this way. So when I've done that, then I'll just chicken it from this point to this point. This is what we have here. This is what we have. And that is what we just replicate. So you just stick in all those points together. Right? So